Welcome to F1 Wolff Fam. In the recent Spanish Grand Prix, Mercedes showcased an incredible comeback, securing their first double podium of 2023 with Lewis Hamilton finishing second and his teammate George Russell right behind him in third. But what's the secret behind their sudden surge in performance? Today, I'll take you through all the intriguing details surrounding Mercedes' race-changing upgrades, including their decision to replace the side pods with a new downwash concept. Will this modification be the key to closing the gap to Red Bull? And what does Mercedes' engineering guru Andrew Chauvelin have to say about their chances at the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix? You won't want to miss the inside scoop on their heated battle for championship glory. So, buckle up, racing enthusiasts, as we delve into the thrilling world of Mercedes' resurgence and the secrets behind their pursuit of victory. Let's dive in! But before we do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you like all things F1. Alright, now let's get back to the video. In the recent Spanish Grand Prix, Mercedes showed significant improvement, securing a double podium with Hamilton in second and Russell in third. They introduced a b-spec car with a bulkier downwash concept, downplaying its impact on their success. Despite finishing behind Verstappen, the Mercedes W14 proved to be the second strongest car on the high downforce circuit. This result elevated them to second place in the Constructors' standings, suggesting they have closed the gap to Red Bull. Contrary to Mercedes' recent success, engineer Andrew Chauvelin's recent comments raised doubts about their performance in the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix. Chauvelin anticipates a challenging weekend for the Silver Arrows due to the circuit's low downforce nature, which stands in stark contrast to the Barcelona circuit, where their revamped 2023 car displayed competitiveness. When discussing Mercedes' expectations for the Canadian GP, Chauvelin stated, "We are thinking it will be more along the lines of some of the earlier races, where we are definitely in the bunch with Ferrari with Aston. Now Alpine look to have joined that group." Chauvelin then emphasized the highly competitive nature of the grid this year, highlighting that even if a driver is only a few tenths of a second behind the one who set the second fastest lap, they could still find themselves as far back as P10 on the grid. This close level of competition is what Chauvelin believes has made the races in 2023 incredibly thrilling. The British engineer then proceeded to address the expected disparity in performance between Montreal and Barcelona. "We are aware that Canada is likely to be a bigger challenge than the Sunday we had just had in Barcelona," Chauvelin added, acknowledging the contrasting nature of the upcoming event. Nonetheless, Mercedes has made notable upgrades to their car, including a new floor and front suspension. Chauvelin explains, "It's about trying to play with these geometries to influence the aero platform and try to get a little more stability in the car. Probably the new geometry has given us more freedom, because the problem we always had before the last end race week was to get a good front end when cornering was needed and good stability on entry when braking hard and cornering. This compromise was always something we couldn't fix. You always end up with a weak rear when entering or a poor front when exiting corners. So, let's hope that these new suspensions take us in the right direction." However, these upgrades have come at a considerable cost. As Formula One operates under a budget cap for the third season, Mercedes has already allocated a significant portion of their budget to the revised car, particularly to the development and implementation of the front suspension layout. Chauvelin explained, "Basically, we made a new suspension, and suspension is expensive to make and to fit on the car. So, the reality is that with the budget cap, we are always looking at our situation in this World Championship. We don't know how many things we're going to do. I don't expect to make any leaps and bounds." Reports suggest that team principal Toto Wolff remains uncertain about the effectiveness of the decision to reintroduce traditional side pods into the aerodynamic design of Mercedes' cars. While the recent podium finishes by Hamilton and Russell showcase the initial impact of the upgrades, further evidence from upcoming races will be necessary to draw a definitive conclusion regarding the team's improved car competitiveness. Experienced Formula One journalist Christian Menath emphasizes that without additional supporting evidence, even Wolff continues to harbor doubts regarding the effectiveness of the changes. Menath told the F1 Nation podcast, "We were talking to McLaren chief Andrea Stella, and he was talking about side pods and why these wide side pods work better with this generation of cars and bring the best out of the floor because everyone is talking about the floor. The floor is the big performance differentiator because 40% of the total downforce is generated by the floor. But the floor has to work and it doesn't work in isolation. So, a Formula One car, you always have to look at every single aspect from the front wing to the rear wing and also from the side pods." Toto said they just wanted to take out something of the equation. He's still not convinced that the concept of these side pods is the better one. They just wanted to take something out of the equation to be sure where the problem is. Following his third-place finish, securing his first podium of the season behind his teammate, George Russell echoed a similar viewpoint. He stated, "It's not the side pods what make the difference. It may be a factor, but the magic isn't in the side pods. We brought that design to the car to kind of rule it out, the side pods. The magic was done underneath the car, on the floor. That's the same for every single team." He added, "I'm sure Red Bull could put no side pods on their car and still be the quickest. It's a little bit more complex than that, but nevertheless, really happy with the work the team have done, and the validation that the steps we've made are steps in the right direction." With Mercedes struggling to match the pace of Red Bull this season, Lewis Hamilton's quest for an 8th championship title may be delayed. Despite his determination and a strong showing in the previous race, Hamilton sits in the 4th place in the current Drivers' Championship standings. He acknowledges that there is still work to be done at Mercedes, but remains optimistic about the team's progress and their potential to compete for wins by the end of the year. However, their upcoming race in Montreal poses challenges, as the slow track conditions may not favor their car design, according to Andrew Shovlin. Hamilton has developed a strong affinity for the Canadian Grand Prix, having amassed an impressive record of 7 victories, jointly holding the record with Michael Schumacher. However, his most recent triumph in Montreal dates back to 2019, and he has been unable to secure a podium finish since then. As a 7-time world champion, Hamilton's contract with Mercedes is set to expire at the end of the year. In an announcement on Sunday evening, the 38-year-old disclosed that he would be meeting with Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff the following day to discuss a potential new agreement. It has been 29 races since Hamilton's defeat to Verstappen in the controversial 2021 season finale in Abu Dhabi, and the record-breaking driver has yet to taste victory since then. Nevertheless, buoyed by his team's resurgent performance, Hamilton's thoughts drifted towards the possibility of a title rematch with Verstappen, a prospect that both he and the sport fervently desire. He said, "I want to keep going for as long as I can, but I want to be where he is or racing him at least, and I am super focused on getting to that point. There is a long way to go, but there is time. My hunger has never shifted. I am in a great place in my life, and I am really happy where I am in my life. I have got all the ducks in a row so I can focus. I have not signed anything yet, but I am meeting with Toto, so hopefully we can get something done." What do you think of Mercedes' impressive double podium finish in the recent Spanish Grand Prix? Do you believe their upgraded car and the new downwash concept will help them close the gap to Red Bull? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.